Greetings, everyone. Greetings to all. The final episode of Yellowstone's 23. Season 1 is quickly approaching. We had exclusive requirements during the current week's episode, wanting to see a few storylines closed before the last episode. Sadly, the episode titled The Rule of 500 failed to live up to our expectations, suggesting that Taylor Sheridan had a different vision than ours. Although it was not a bad episode, the story was less believable because the few twists relied too much on convenience. Let's talk more about the episode. A scene that is unique to the Yellowstone universe begins with Jacob and Jack Jalen Banner partying with two hookers at a modern house. Banner is aware that his end is near, despite maintaining his confidence and threatening the Duttons. Dan, on the other hand, steps in and takes control as the police arrive at his door to arrest him, ensuring that Banner will be rescued. It is abundantly clear that the conflict between the two sides is only just beginning, and Banner is too naive to be the series' true antagonist, despite our uncertainty regarding Dan's plans. Don is the real villain, and Spencer will ultimately destroy him. Don's portrayal in the most recent episode of Yellowstone perpetuates the stale and overused stereotype that bad men have twisted and sickly fantasies. Even though this trope may be able to create drama and tension, it ultimately undermines the complexity of the character and the narrative. In spite of this oversight, other aspects of the episode demonstrate Sheridan's skill as a writer. For instance, the Duttons' conversation demonstrates the true nature of politics and the need to safeguard their land and environment from avarice and corruption. Since the show rarely makes explicit political statements, Jacob's speech is a refreshing and unusual scene in the Yellowstone universe. However, it adds depth to the characters' struggles and motivations, elevating the narrative. Although some aspects of the episode may be lacking, overall, the writing and storytelling remain strong, making for an engaging and compelling viewing experience. In addition, the corruption and avarice that frequently pervaded the system are brought to light in the scene where Jacob explains the inner workings of politics. His passionate speech serves as a reminder that the voices of ordinary people are frequently silenced, while the wealthy and powerful frequently exert the greatest influence over policy decisions. In Yellowstone, the Duttons struggle to defend their land, and their way of life from those who want to exploit it for their own benefit is reflected in this recurring theme of inequality and injustice. It is important to note that Yellowstone also offers a nuanced exploration of complex issues such as political corruption and environmental conservation, despite the show's tendency to rely on tired cliches when portraying certain characters. The fact that Sheridan is able to weave these disparate elements into a compelling and thought-provoking narrative is evidence of his writing ability. In the end, the show's larger themes and messages are what make it worth watching, even if some aspects are predictable or even trite. Moving ahead. After Marseilles, Spencer and Alexandra arrive in Italy, their final destination. Things seem great at first, with Alexandra having an amazing time and people eating at fancy restaurants. However, when Alexandra's ex-fans and her entire family show up, Spencer feels uneasy being surrounded by white people at a luxury restaurant. We thought it was kind of stupid and too convenient for Alexandra to meet her family there, despite the shocking moment. We want Sheridan's shows to have more nuance because we want them to be surprising rather than ridiculous. In 1883, the same thing occurred, lowering the quality of the show in our eyes. We accept that it would have been vastly improved in the event that they just arrived at Montana, and we don't have the foggiest idea about why we ought to think often about Alexandra meeting her family, considering that she has shown an imprudent disposition towards them. Lastly, Channa's storyline was the episode's most interesting. We had trouble empathizing with her character, but we couldn't stop thinking about her story. We first met her father, who learns that her mother was murdered. She also meets a boy who is the protector's son, and after initially going their separate ways, they begin their search for Tana. I appreciate your viewing. I hope it pleases you. Subscribe to the channel and make sure to like the video for more exciting content.